Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Silent Man podcast. I'm your host, Javier Talamontes. Let's go ahead and first give thanks. I want to give all of you thank you for allowing me the space to be able to be vulnerable and to be of service to all of you men out there that are basically going through the same things that I'm going through. And for us to be able to support each other and to help each other and to offer solutions, and to, every single one of us is a voice, and every single one of us has a story to tell. So very soon we'll start opening up casting calls for men like yourselves to come onto the podcast. We ask all of you to write a formal letter with maybe what you're going through in life, how long you've been going through it, and what we can do to better your life in regards to making a better version of yourself. So I definitely, like I said, I want to hear everyone's stories. We also have the Silent Man Manifesto for everyone as a gift, and it's almost like a blueprint to kind of get a feel of what we're going through and why we're going through things. And I talk strongly in all our episodes about programs and how programs run us. It's almost like on autopilot, and we sometimes don't understand that. We think that that's just the normal way to be, and that we feel like that we have no other choice. And that's another thing too that I'm very strong on, that you always have choice, and your choice is basically to be made to better your life and to make a better version of yourself. So this podcast is made specifically for all fathers, single men, divorcees, or widowers, men struggling silently with depression, identity, finances, because I know for a fact finances is humongous, right? I know it's big in my life, and I know it's big in everyone else's life, because if we get to a point in our lives where we cannot support our families, or we cannot give substance to our family, and we feel like we're failing them because of, let's say, because it got slow at work, your hours were cut, maybe your business isn't doing the best that it can. Maybe you made some choices and the business, didn't survive, and, it's not thriving. It's basically, dying on the vine. That in itself, with the support system that we're building here, with the buddy system, with the Silent Man programs that we're going to be offering, it's like, but believe me, guys, all of this is basically, it's free to you. Okay. It's a gift. Okay, there's no charge for it. You don't have to give us anything, and we're here to be of service and to help, right? To help, because if you and me help each other, that means it's 1 + 1, and then it's 3. Okay, 1 + 1 = 3, and what that basically means, it's you and me help each other, and then we go out there and help one other person. There becomes 3. Okay, so. Once again, understand that you're not alone, and that this is just basically a moment in your life where you can have a doubt, right? And sometimes the doubt is so strong that you think it's a belief, but we always have to go back to our faith, okay? And this is not about religion, guys. This is about a faith within ourselves, a faith upon ourselves, a faith bestowed upon us, and a faith that we have within us, right? So it's got nothing to do with money. It's got nothing to do with, your achievements. It's got everything to do with, do you have faith that everything is meant to be a certain way in this world for you? Like, it's already predestined, right? And so you're not able to be allowed to fail, okay? You're already a success. Just by waking up every day and getting out of bed and just going out there and just, and then look at it from the adversity point of view, right? If adversity hits, what are you supposed to do? you do something different over and over and over again. And that's the same thing I'm giving you right now for your toolbox. You're already successful. You're already amazing. And you've already got all the love in your heart to give to your family and to others just by you being part of today. Because if you're part of today, that means you're almost guaranteed that you'll have tomorrow. And in some cases, we're not destined to have tomorrow. In some cases, we're pulled, and then that's it. That's the think of it like a string, right? And so the string is pulled tightly, and then at one point in time, it's going to break. And when it breaks, that means that's it. You whatever you were going to do in this world, that's where it ended right there. So why not make it the best version, right? The best version of what you could do, no matter what happens, like just like don't barrel through it, but definitely just push through it, right? And by having tools that we're presenting every single day and online, which we're going to go ahead and open that up for you as well. And then having you send in letters, that you write that basically give us a good insight about what's going on in your life and how we can support you. And, you can do anonymous. It's okay. It's not a problem. The only thing we're going to ask is, let us know the city where you're calling from and an age, and at least this way we can go ahead and talk about it on the podcast in regards to how we can support you. And then, other callers will also chime in, and other people will also, give you support and advice, because remember, at the Silent Man, we ask for permission. We don't just barge into your life and we're trying to tell you how to live it based off of what we've gone through. No, we first ask for permission to have you give us that permission in order for us to be able to be of service to you. So remember this. So I have this really, really amazing story. So, and it's all got to do with, the reason that the Silent Man podcast, got started, and where all the, a lot of the content also comes from, because, I'm telling you guys right now, I've basically, stripped down all the armor. I've broken all the walls down, and I've basically made myself 100% vulnerable, and, just being of service and showing you that, I'm a big guy, 6'5", and even I know exactly when to be a follower instead of just the leader. And, I don't know it all. And I go through the same things that everyone else goes through. And it's like, but we're all learning, and we're all coping with things, and we're all, using these tools to, get past one moment to the next. And, and like I said, I'm big on isolate the moments. So don't let a moment become a mountain where basically now you think your whole day got shot. In some cases, you think your whole week is basically done, or your whole month, and like everything is just in shambles, but it's not. It's a small little moment, and the way to go ahead and cure that moment is by dealing with it, handling it, and in some cases, live to fight another day, right? But like I said, going back to what I said, is so important. Just by you waking up and getting out of bed is basically like you're a winner. Like you're a fighter. Like you just don't take things lying down. So, so the next story I want to say is, so how many of you guys have seen the X-Men? It was the movie with Xavier. He was basically the school owner of the Gifted, and they were all basically mutants and everything else. But let's isolate this to, like, he had this system, right? And it was called Cerebral. And Cerebral was basically where he came in there. He had a wheelchair, and he came in there and he put on this. It was almost like a magical helmet, and he was able because of his psychic abilities, he was able to tune into like all the different, the mutants throughout the whole universe, right? Okay, the reason I mention that is because I feel like I'm connected to all of you men out there that are, in pain and, going through depression. Want to call them mini depression. Want to call them, doubts. Sadness. You're frail. Whatever you want to call it. It's like I feel like I'm in tune with all of you men out there, because I finally went ahead and put my guard down, and I said, in order for me to be able to be of service to men that are hurting, I need to show that I hurt also. And so I'm putting myself out there and just letting everyone know, like, when I'm going throughout my day, that's how I feel. I feel like I connect with certain people because they might be going through certain things, and it's a powerful feeling to have, to be able to see that, because I take that and it's almost like, think of it like referencing in my own life, right? So like, let's say I look at somebody and they're in the construction field, and they're coming in late because basically they don't have a car and they had to get dropped off, and it's like, and in some cases it's like they feel like they're just going through motions and they're just working, but they technically need to depend on other people to get them to and from work, and then so that person's basically going through self-doubt. Maybe their work shows it. Maybe the way they act, how they interact with others. It kind of shows everything, right? And it's just like a quick little example of like how minuscule sometimes we think things are. But if you take that moment just to look into it, right? Think of it like a little peephole, right? And you take a look through it, and you're able to like kind of see the bigger picture behind that, right? And like I said, I'm not here to solve anyone's problems or to think that I'm the one all end all. What I will tell you is this: based off of my experiences that I've gone through, and I've gone through some really, really crazy experiences, I think I'm a good source of information. And like I said, and I'm here to offer, I'm not here to take. And think of it like this, like think of it like we're here on this round table, right? And it doesn't fit in this room, it doesn't fit anywhere. It's just in our mind, right? In our mind we have this round table. And normally in our round table, the only way we'll allow people to eat from that table is if they bring something to the table. And that's the way I look at it with all of you, that are tuning in, is you all have something to give, right? All of you, no matter what position you are, financially, in your mind, what position you're in, like if you're down, if you're up, if you're happy, if you're sad, all of that. You all have something to give, right? And so I implore you and I ask of you with a humble heart to please bring that, Send in your information about how you feel. Give us, it could be a small little paragraph, anonymous, 23, Southgate. I wake up every day and I'm going through it, and my financial state is not the best, and I'm always getting yelled at by my wife, and and then my I got married too young, I had a kid, and it's like, and things are just going, and sometimes I can't breathe. I mean, it could be something simple like that, right? Because what's going to happen is by you getting outside of yourself and becoming vulnerable, you could help all these other men, understand what they're going through. And then not only that, it's like now you realize you're not alone, and you don't need to go through this alone. And so we'll have support groups for all of us men, and it doesn't need to be in person. It could be virtual, right? We get on a virtual call. It can be anonymous. It could be on a feed. It can be anything. But ultimately, like I said, it's giving proper advice, right, with permission, to be able to go ahead and maybe get you past that moment where maybe you feel like, hey, you know what? I want to end it all, right? And I think all of us know people like that are very like to the point where they prefer if they just weren't, if they could just do away with everything. And that's the dangerous part, right? The dangerous part is we know people like that. And if we don't know people like that, if we become intuitive, just like, the X-Men, and just the way he puts that helmet on, we can all do the same thing. How? We don't need to be mind readers. Just look at somebody and ask them, hey, how are you? What are is everything okay? And then somebody might just say, no, it's not okay. I feel like I'm going to blow up. Like, I feel like I'm a pressure cooker, and I'm just ready to just to lose it, And then you've got to keep it together. If you're the one that's on the listening side and you're receiving that, that's powerful. Okay? And it's not for everyone. And it can actually harm you if you don't know how to go ahead and handle it. So if you ask, be ready for any type of answer they might give you. So don't think you're going to ask somebody, hey, how you doing? I'm doing great. Well, technically, it could be like that. And in some cases, it can't. So just be ready. Like I said, be like Xavier from X-Men, but ask questions. Ask the most simplest question in the world. How are you? Use this as an exercise. Go up to 10 different people that you know. And if not, then, choose some people that are just strangers and just ask them, hey, how are you today? Especially in the morning, when people start their mornings. There was a study that said that most men have heart attacks early in the morning, even before work. And you gotta look this up, because it was the craziest thing. And I was like, why do men have, heart attacks early in the morning? And so I'll leave it up to you to get the correct answer, because I don't want to say something and the next, you guys are saying, I didn't say the story correctly, but just look it up. And, so I implore you, just do that exercise. 10 people, find them, and then call it the X-Men effect, right? And then this way you can go ahead and get a good view of what other people are going through. Because, like I said, we're all going through it. And in some cases, some people are going through it together at the same time, at the same place, and they don't even know it. Because we all assume, what? Everyone's okay. If you see somebody driving a nice car and they got nice clothes, you figure, they don't have the same issues that I do. Because now we have the same thing, right? We have the income inequality, right? The guy at the top doesn't have the problems that the guy at the bottom has. Well, guess what? At one point or other, they're going to meet. And when they meet, they're exactly the same. They're having the same issues, same problems. And it's just, in some cases, it could be bigger problems, mortgage, car payments, tuition. And in some cases, it could be, man, I can't make my rent, or I can't, afford groceries. But at the end of the day, it's the same issue that both of them are having. And the issue is going to be what? The issue is going to be that they're both going through things. And so what's the best way to find out? Just ask, how are you? How's your day? And then let them answer, right? Give them the space to answer. Give them the safe space to answer. And then after you're done with them and you're listening to them, let them know, I wish you only the best day possible. And know that just by you getting out of bed today, you've actually, you're already winning today. Like you're amazing. You're amazing just by waking up today and getting out of bed. Because like I said, not when you look at truly depressed, majorly depressed people that don't even want to get out of bed. Think about that just for a second. They don't want to get out of bed. And then once they get out of bed, they almost feel like they have a purpose, right? At least for that day, So I just want to thank everyone once again for giving me this opportunity. And let me continue to give you tools, and these gifts that are tools for your toolbox to use throughout the days that are coming. And know for a fact right now, you're not alone. But if you don't speak, we don't hear. And so we need to understand what you're going through. So let's all become a forum, and let's all become, where we can all give each other support and also advice with the permission. So like, click, and subscribe. And definitely, like I said, look us up on the social media platforms. Ask for the Silent Man Manifesto. We'll go ahead and send that directly to you. It's a good blueprint for you to go ahead and have. And we'll also be opening up our online store, which we'll go ahead and be able to give merchandise to a lot of you to be able to go ahead and utilize on a daily basis. Thank you so much. Have a great night.